when the end of days finally arrives, MotorStorm Apocalypse will have taught us one thing. Instead of gently holding our loved ones and apologising for gluing sunglasses on Mr. Waffles, we're going to find the biggest truck we can, change our name to Fisty McWheelspins and drive ourselves to death in a crumbling city. Let's off-road! MotorStorm Apocalypse sees a group of thrill-seeking caricatures gathering together in order to race around a doomed abandoned city.
Why have we come to a city, huh? Can't off-road in a city.
So in other words, there is no story. The thinly scripted tale is told via some scratchy comic book interludes, but it adds little to the game except for some yawnsome characters plucked straight out of the Gennaro box.
I know you. You're MASH. I've seen you race. You're awesome.
Move along, people. Let's get our race on. There's no room for the nuanced driving of Gran Turismo 5 here. Apocalypse is all about driving angry and punching Mother Nature in her stupid, earthy throat. It's basically like the previous two PS3 MotorStorm games, furiously fast and utterly filthy, with the added hook that the ruined city is actually falling apart as you drive through it, deforming tracks and rerouting traffic. Gameplay-wise, the most important trick is still boost. This nitro heave allows you to scorch around each track at crazy speeds, but your vehicle will overheat and ultimately explode if pushed too hard. To counter this, you can cool your engines by splashing through puddles and barrels of water or releasing the throttle as you blast over the jumps. It's as muscle car simple as it sounds, and it doesn't need to be any more complicated. The ferocious interaction between the different vehicles and the tracks is enough. Because MotorStorm is a four-wheeled free-for-all, any type of vehicle can take part. This means you'll be driving the series' regular mix of mud churners, including ATVs, which corner like a rubberised squirrel but can be flighty, dirt bikes, super nippy but which tend to get a lot crushed in collisions, and big rigs which turn like ballistic missiles but tend to do all of the crushing. Best of all, the balance here is spot on. Lighter vehicles have the edge on handling and acceleration, with the heavier metal rocking hard when things get rough. And things will get rough. Races often stay tightly bunched up and can turn vicious quickly. And although quick resets mean bumping opponents to their doom doesn't really affect your chances of winning, it feels brutally satisfying. There's plenty of replay value here too. The main campaign is basically an enforced method of making you play 3 difficulty levels, but the use of different characters and vehicles gives you more of a reason to keep riding. There's also a host of unlockables and a huge selection of offline and online challenges. 33 tracks might not sound like a massive amount, but even with the scripted events, there's plenty of adrenaline-thrusting excitement here. Some of the traditional MotorStorm niggles are present. Crashing into the scenery can happen too easily, and resetting to the track after a disastrous spin isn't quick enough. But these are minor injuries when compared to the overall enjoyment of the MotorStorm pile-up. Apocalypse has a lot to live up to. The early MotorStorm games were painfully pretty, like being poked in the eye with a sharpened rainbow. The first in particular was a standard setter for the early days of PS3, so it's slightly disappointing that Apocalypse doesn't have the same immediate punch. This isn't about taking your breath away with crisp off-road landscapes though. Apocalypse instead waits until you're distracted before smacking you around the head with a concrete bollard. This is the most brilliantly crumbly cityscape we've seen in a game, comparable to but more consistently wow-inducing than the similar destruction in the polished racer's split-second velocity. The tsunami-racked beach track is perilous and exhilarating, with towers tumbling down in front of you and tornadoes tearing up the track as you speed through. The game somehow even manages to make scrambling around a skyline of falling high-rise buildings convincing, if really bloody hard. Ah! As if the looting, martial law and living off baked beans weren't enough to keep us praying for the end of times, MotorStorm Apocalypse has got us even more excited. Anyone tired of twiddling under GT5's polished hood should get involved for PS3's ultimate blowout race. We'll be the ones sat next to the dog in sunglasses. It's an end of the road 8 from us.